This is News Extra. You're welcome. Appropriate technologies will be deployed by the federal government in the renewed effort at bringing to an end all acts of crime and criminality, undermining national security and socio-economic well-being of the country. Governor Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State, who disclosed this while speaking to newsmen after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari, reassured Nigerians that the nation's security situation will not be the same this new year. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
It is the first formal engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello in the year 2021. Discussions centered on the prevailing challenges of security in the power state, which the governor described as worrisome. He said apart from armed robbery, kidnapping and cattle rustling, the criminal elements are also engaged in preventing people from going to their farms, setting ablaze farm produce, killing animals, and frequently attacking the Bobby Grazing Reserve established to check farmers' herders' conflicts.
This has given me some concerns, and at the same time, it's kept me thinking, what is the motive? I can understand if you kidnap, you rob, or say you're doing for money. But when you burn farms, then there's something else happening. So if you stop people from going to farm, it means you're trying to deprive that nation of food security. So why would someone want to deprive a whole nation of food security? So there's serious mayhem being caused by these bandits.
The governor, who expressed optimism of an improved security situation across Nigeria in the new year, said his administration is also not relenting in its efforts at finding lasting solutions, but ruled out the possibility of any negotiations with bandits.
I cannot imagine myself as a state governor and chief security officer of the state sitting down negotiating with bandits. My discussion with the president was very fruitful. He showed his concern. He has always shown concern when it comes to such activities, especially when it affects lives and properties and agriculture. He pledged more support to the states. Most of the support will come from high-tech equipment, high-tech surveillance equipment that is able to identify and detect the exact location and position of the camps so that our forces are able to go straight to the point.
President Buhari and Governor Sani Bello also discussed ways and means of enhancing the state of infrastructure in Niger, especially roads, which are in terrible state of disrepair. President Muhammadu Buhari also granted audience to the chairman, caretaker, and extraordinary convention planning committee of the APC, Governor Mai Mala Buni of Yobe State, and his Kogi State counterpart, Yaya Bello, but details of their discussions were not made public. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
What readily comes to mind at the mention of the year 2020 is the coronavirus pandemic that engulfed the whole world, with the human race shaking to its core. In the midst of its attendant effect is the attention it brought to the health system of nations like never before. In this report, health correspondent Rabi Abdullah takes us through how the health sector, being the worst hit by the pandemic, fared, and other chains of events that shaped the sector in 2020.
The coronavirus outbreak reported in Wuhan province of China at the tail end of 2019 spread so fast like wildfire to other countries of the world. The World Health Organization officially declared it as a pandemic in March 2020. On the 27th of February in the year under review, Nigeria announced its first case of COVID-19, an Italian national. That led to the stepping up of the federal government's efforts of prevention, containment, and other response strategies. For instance, from just 2 laboratories that could test for COVID-19 in the country, at the onset of the outbreak, the country moved to over 90 molecular laboratories located in all states of the Federation.
Powerful health systems almost came to their knees, and that made us to look into our own health system and look at the weaknesses. At the beginning, we thought it was a question of ventilators, As a matter of fact, we also learned a lot of things along the way. We were able to strengthen our health systems. We have built more isolation centers, more ICU.
9 months, very early, the COVID outbreak, they were able to establish the genetic sequence of the COVID virus. When the COVID organics were brought from Madagascar, nitrate, they came up with and gave us the findings on COVID organics.
The second wave of the pandemic was to come on the heels of what was believed to have been controlled gains over it between the months of August and October.
The first reflection on this, given that we're still really in the middle of this pandemic, is how important it is to focus on health security as an existential threat.
The most topical issue around COVID-19 at the moment is the vaccines that scientists have been able to develop.
Nigeria and 91 other economies are plugged into the COVAX facility to make sure that some critical number of vaccines are made available to low and middle income countries like Nigeria, so that irrespective of our ability to pay, we're still able to access these vaccines.
Funding of research has been an intractable problem in our setting, and government has actually done well by directing the Central Bank of Nigeria to put forward a multi-billion naira grant for phytomedicines and vaccines research.
To put any drug for people to use, it must undergo clinical trials.
Nigeria is able to speak to the elimination of wild polio virus because the media played a central role in it. And same it will be for COVID-19. We have the role to play for the usage of the vaccine.
2020 was not all about the coronavirus. There was a breath of fresh air as Nigeria became the last African country to be declared free from wild polio virus. Health insurance also received a boost following the formal launch of an initiative known as the Group Individual and Family Social Health Insurance Scheme, GiveShape. The unveiling of the roadmap to Nigeria's health sector development in 2021 and beyond is one of the opportunities the country is latching on to rebuild the Nigerian health system as it battles the second wave of COVID-19, as well as ensuring that the new strain of the virus, considered to be more virulent, does not find its way to the shores of the country. In Abuja, Rabi Abdullah, NTA News.
Thank you, Rabi. As the nation continues to battle the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic, medical experts in Lagos have warned Nigerians to protect themselves. They say unlike the first wave, the second is characterized with the newly mutated form, which is easily transmitted and more deadly. Hingno John Adams tells us more.
Second wave of COVID-19, which is very ambitious, is the major concern in the country at the moment. That is why stakeholders in the health sector are working tirelessly to ensure that the virus is defeated. Professor Chris Bode is the medical director of Lagos University Teaching Hospital. He is one man who has seen firsthand the horrifying impact of COVID-19 on patients. Professor Bode and his team are worried about the recent spike in the number of COVID-19 cases in Lagos. They are raising awareness on the need for Nigerians to take prevention seriously to tame the raging virus.
So many people complain, I have malaria and I'm not feeling well. I treated malaria, it didn't go. Please, if you are feeling unwell, think COVID.
These medical experts advise that Nigerians should take the second wave more seriously as the newly mutated form of the virus is more dangerous.
Now, the numbers, not only that they are increasing, the severity is also, virtually everybody on our wards now, they are oxygen dependent. And that is really, unlike the first wave, where we have about 10-15%
50% of the patient on oxygen.
Over the past 2 weeks or so, we have had cause to observe young people, some in their 20s, some in their 30s, who have actually died from COVID.
The warning and call to observe all COVID-19 protocols, the team explained, is not to alarm the populace, but to alert them, as a stitching time saves 9. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Sure, it's teaching time saves 9. I like what one of the medical experts say. He said, if you are well or you're not feeling well, I beg your pardon, then think COVID. So, as COVID-19 cases in the country continue to rise, many Nigerians are concerned about ways to reduce the rapid spread despite series of measures put in place by the government. In this special report, Oyeyemi Ajayi went round different places in the FCT to observe the level of compliance and has this report.
On the 3rd of January 2021, Nigeria recorded 917 COVID-19 cases. The figures increased on the 4th as the country recorded 1,204 new cases. On the 5th of the same month, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, announced another 1,354 new cases. This reflects the sharp increase in the number of daily cases, coupled with the people passing away as a result of complications from the virus. Nigeria is already in the second wave of coronavirus, just as many countries in the world, with traces of new strain of the virus, which is said to be more deadly. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has been working round the clock to sensitize people on the need to ensure that the curve is flattened. Series of measures have been put in place, including enforcement of COVID-19 protocols, but despite these measures, the number still increases.
Compare ourselves with 3 weeks ago. The number of new cases per week has tripled.
Severe cases is where our biggest challenge is now.
The reasons for these increasing cases are not far-fetched. Visits to the streets, motor parks, markets and some of the busy spots revealed some nonchalant attitude displayed by some Nigerians. No observance of mandatory social distancing amongst others, and this is because many still believe that the daily COVID-19 recorded cases is a hoax, compared to many who believe it is real. For example, the Jabi Park used to have a wash hand basin at the entrance for passengers to wash their hands, and getting there now, the basin doesn't seem functioning. Also at the markets, social distancing is not visible amongst buyers and sellers, likewise at different places visited.
It is necessary because the disease doesn't fear anybody. It can catch anybody. If you say this disease is not real, the day when this thing catch you, now they will not say the thing is real.
The task force in the market are really doing their best.
Anybody that you know that is traveling, then we, for our park here, we are maintain that law.
Enforcement agencies have reiterated commitment not to spare any defaulter.
We have complied by blocking 100 passports from travel, which means even if they go to police and declare those passports missing, they cannot reissue them.
Just like many have suggested, that there is the need for stricter measures against COVID-19 protocol defaulters, which should serve as deterrents to others, as the virus has no respect for anyone, irrespective of status. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
And European Medicines Agency approves Moderna coronavirus vaccine, just as UK judge denies bail for WikiLeaks founder. Joyce Omitted gives us details of these and more on Global Update.
As the spread of coronavirus worsens, Nigeria has hit another landmark, recording 1,354 new cases. Now, this figure brings the total number of infections in the country to 92,705. Meanwhile, global cases now exceed 87 million, with 1.8 million fatalities. Now, a World Health Organization team due to investigate the origin of COVID-19 in the city of Wuhan has been denied entry to China. claiming that their visas was not yet approved. The WHO's Director General, Tedros Adhanom, has expressed his dismay.
I'm very disappointed with this news, given that 2 members had already begun their journeys and others were not able to travel at the last minute. But I have been in contact with senior Chinese officials, and I have once again made it clear that the mission is a priority for WHO and the international team.
Meanwhile, as authorities accelerate the rollout of vaccines aimed at curbing the pandemic, Moderna's coronavirus jab has become the second to receive approval from Europe's medicines regulator. The final step is approval by the European Commission, which is expected to follow quickly. And reports from Russia say the country has inoculated 1 million people against COVID-19 with its Sputnik V vaccine. Russia, which has the world's 4th highest number of COVID-19 cases, started large-scale vaccinations last month. No new adverse reactions have been reported so far. Away from the pandemic, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been denied bail. A UK court ruled on Wednesday and will remain in prison while lawyers for the US government try to secure his extradition. The bail ruling comes days after the same judge found that Assange could not be legally extradited to the United States to face espionage charges due to concerns about his mental health and the risk of suicide. In Africa, at least 22 civilians have been killed in a rebel attack on a village in the North Kivu province of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Donald Kibwana, the administrator of the Beni territory, said the violence in Mwenda village was allegedly perpetrated by the Ugandan rebel group Allied Democratic Forces. And that ends the segment. I am Joyce Ometu.
It came like a warning, but it is a policy statement to propel the necessary political will hitherto missing in the water sector. When President Muhammadu Buhari said, henceforth, federal government support to states in the sector will be based on the commitment demonstrated by respective state government. So, the Partnership for Expanded Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene, PWASH, launched in 2016, is one of the programs developed by the government of the day to turn around the disturbing statistics in the sector. Musbarat Wahab, who has been interrogating the program, reports that 4 years down the line, PWASH has brought some gains to hundreds of rural communities.
That is how it is now easy in Irolu Remo, Ikenne local government area of Ogun State, to access safe water. Thanks to PWASH, which has brought life to this community that was once in dire need of a commodity. PWASH was born out of necessity in 2016 for an all-inclusive bottom-up effort to quench the thirst of millions of Nigerians, particularly at the grassroots. The federal government led the way. Kano and Ogun States were the first to meet the criteria for the pilot phase.
The state will prioritize according to the budget they have for the year. And then we say, look, if it is 4 that you are going to address this year, federal government will take 2 local governments, state government will take 2 local governments. So on 50-50 basis.
Overhead tanks are the new common features across the selected communities, and the hitherto scarce commodity is now being taken for granted. PWASH is also addressing the most nagging issues of poor attention and maintenance usually associated with government's water projects in local communities.
We've organized ourselves as the maintaining group. We were raising 200 naira per family to sustain it, and per house is 500 naira, those that have it extended into their compound.
This to contribute the money is fair. It's better, far better than to buy water, because a keg is 20 naira we are buying. So we cannot, in a month we contribute that 200. We use water of 600 before the month finished, so we really thank God for this water they brought for us.
About 800 new or rehabilitation or water projects have been executed across 8 local government areas in Ogun and 8 in Kano.
Many local communities that have been forgotten, and it's like they don't know they are existing in Nigeria, are the ones that have been addressed.
By these modest efforts,
Additional 2.4 million Nigerians have gained access to water supply in the last 12 months.
But then, more than 50 million Nigerians are still yearning for access to safe water across the country.
With the current figures, with the current rates of accessibility to both water and sanitation, and the SDGs that are happening in 10 years from now, the rate will need to be much faster.
While the second phase of PWASH has started in 10 other states, only Rivers and Borno states, as well as the FCT, are yet to sign up for the partnership. In Abuja, Musbao and Wahab, NTA News.
Now, when they say the heart of man is infinitely wicked, it sounds strange until you hear certain stories. Take this one for example. Wednesday, the 30th of December 2020, will forever remain the saddest day in the life of Mohammed Jama'ari of Zango community in Jama'ari local government area of Bauchi State. We are told that suspected ritualists cut off the genital organ of his 6-year-old daughter, Safara'u Muhammad. Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad reports that although one arrest has been made, 2 others are said to be at large.
Just like every other child, 6-year-old Safara'u Muhammad of Zongo community in Jama'ari, the headquarters of Jama'ari local government area in Bauchi State, began her day Wednesday 30th December 2020 full of life and energy. Not until around 5 p.m. when she was found in a pool of blood at this location by her niece, who later discovered that Safara'u's private part was completely cut off.
My elder brother asked me to rush and meet them in the hospital, that Safara'u is in emergency situation. On getting there, I realized what happened.
Our men swung into action and arrested one of the suspects by name Adamu Abdurrauf, a 20 years old of Gandu in Jama'ari. During interrogation, Adamu confessed to the crime, that him and one Abdul Qadir Wada, they perpetrated that act.
My friend met me at home and told me about the plan and warned me not to tell anyone else he will kill both of us.
Currently in a stable condition at the Aminu Kano University Teaching Hospital, Kano, under the watch of Dr. Mahmoud Magashi, Safara'u is expected to go in for surgery anytime from now, as the government of Bauchi State has promised to foot all the medical bills with an initial deposit of 1 million naira.
Right now, the plan is to do perineal reconstructive surgery. That means to reconstruct what was removed. So she's on daily dressing now. And the plan is when the place becomes clean, we are going to do that surgery. And the surgery involves all the 3 teams that I mentioned. That is the gynecologist, the plastic surgeons, and pediatric surgeons.
Oh, he will be arrested very soon, because now all the security operatives, they are working tirelessly to make sure that they get him.
The Bauchi State government's delegation, who also visited the scene of the ungodly act, also donated food items to the parent and some members of the community. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
A very, very sad and touching one, I must say. We pray for Safara'u's successful surgery. Over 2,000 residents of a popular location in Lagos called Monkey Village has expressed displeasure over the demolition of their buildings on the 31st of December 2020. Annie Daniels has the details.
On my way to this place, I expected to see lots and lots of monkeys because the place is called a monkey village. On arriving here, however, I met something different from my expectations. I saw lots and lots of people crying over the properties that have been demolished by whoever they say they do not know.
Just come scatter our place, Nakpago house they live for Monkey village. They not tell anybody, say, park. If you give anybody, say, 7 days, live here. I will find another place.
Residents of the now demolished Monkey Village informed NTA News that they are legal occupants of the community and have never recorded any robbery or thuggery incident.
Monkey Village has produced a lot of fans. We have brothers who are from here traveled to Europe. All of a sudden, last year March, this landlord association, they just come up with a plan to block up that place.
Immediately COVID-19 started.
Before that COVID-19, even before then, they have brought army to come and arrest us for no reason.
All this boy, as the day here, just they look on like this. I go to monitor everybody. Nobody thief. Our landlord don't come. I don't know the thing where they do now, but he say he could go settle all the matter where it happen.
Probing further, I was informed that 90% of Monkey Village residents relocated from other parts of Lagos, and they comprise of people from different states in Nigeria, including neighboring Togo and Ghana.
All these are going people, Togo people. Before I go sleep for night, around 12, 3 o'clock go they hear bru bru bru, don't start to cook. Before 6:30, don't carry. Some they sell for Joelegba or Balende, they go sell there.
Most of us here now the food when they chop for that place, and we're going bread and beans, nyama beans, now we they cook them.
I do shawarma, I do barbecue catfish, I do asu, I grill chicken.
Now everybody now come stay here. They sit 10 naira, 20 naira. You don't push them for school.
These people are still not sure who or which agency carried out the demolition. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development has issued a press release stating that it carried out the demolition exercise to protect the master plans of the state and restore orderliness to the Obebi environs. And I've been told that they have over 2,000 people living here, residing in this village. As it is now, their fate is in the balance. All they ask is that all concerned authorities should please look critically into this matter. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Thank you, Annie, for that. Now, up ahead on News Extra, the African Continental Free Trade Area in focus. What is the comparative advantage when it comes to Nigeria's goods? The trains are on the move. Let's feel the pulse of Nigerians on that when News Extra returns. Please stay.
Come, my flavor chocolate, a yakba for you now. I'm coming. Come, let me spoil you. Look, this is not boil or abscess. Now money. Muna show for Queen's Lounge right now. Babes, yakpa for you.
Find your first. Get a Glow Special Data Plan. Dial *777#. Glow.
In my house, we may look alike, but we are very different individuals. My adorable twins, they look so alike, but they don't like wearing the same things. And my little man, he loves to learn his own way because doing things his way is more fulfilling. Everybody believes their way is best. That's why Golden Penny Pasta is our favorite meal. It allows me to satisfy everybody just the way they want it.
Golden Penny Pasta, made with durum wheat, is tasty, nutritious, a source of protein and fiber. Golden Penny Pasta, your way is best.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
For over 70 years, we've practiced healthy hygiene habits together. The world needs us to keep our fight going against germs. So let's wash our hands for 20 seconds regularly. Dettol. Protect what's worth fighting for.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Imagine the joy that fills your heart when you have just given birth. Whatever your size, we got you.
Hold up, grandmother.
Mama, baby. With our Buy Right chat, you can get the best mattress that goes with your body weight. Don't just buy a mattress, buy a Vitafoam mattress.
The name of the baby is Stella.
Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
The new year begins. We here at NTA cannot help but look back on a challenging year that has been filled with many lessons. The most important of all being a renewed gratitude for the continued support of our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, businesses and manufacturers, and you, the viewers. As we cross the finish line together, this celebration of new beginnings would simply be incomplete without you there, and we look forward to sharing the coming year with you. Here's to an excellent year ahead.
Welcome back. Nigeria is on the path of building a recovery and resilient economy, despite setbacks that characterized previous fiscal year. Pointers to that is the 2021 summary figure of 15.5 trillion naira predicated to change the narrative. This is coming at a time the ratification of its membership in the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreements is expected to stimulate a rational economic regime that will facilitate rapid development. Abakar Usman Akongo reports that guests on NTA Current Affairs program Tuesday Live say the two major instruments will serve as critical drivers of the economy.
Nigeria, a nation of more than 200 million people and still counting, was plunged into a twin economic downturn in the last 5 years, with impact of oil glut, COVID-19 lockdown and other internal unrest that took a wrong trajectory. Now the 2021 budget size of 15.5 trillion naira, tagged Budget of Recovery and Resilience under the new normal, is aimed at addressing gaps created by these unpredicted factors, consolidate on capital and recurrent expenditures, and sustain social investment programs.
Aside from, obviously, the massive works that will continue on our roads, our bridges, our airports and seaports, obviously within the aviation budget, we also have captured there about 14 billion naira that will be going to finally flag off the construction and make quite a bit of progress this year.
A budget is typically a plan that you have cast in figures. What it simply means is that we were able to match revenue against plans. Okay, for us to be able to implement as much as we have.
There is effort in terms of the Ministry of Finance to see how to integrate the subnational into the budget process. And that's why they came with the National Development Agenda.
On the African Common Market agenda of the continent, guests on NTA2 Live lauded the bold step taken by federal government to ratify the nation membership and express confidence of Nigeria occupying vantage position in the new economic dispensation.
54 countries have signed, and then 34 countries have deposited the instrument of ratification at the African Union. It means that we are ready.
We have the National Action Committee on the AFCTA. Throughout November up to December, there were a lot of sensitization workshops, and we were looking at various sectors of the AFCTA.
No matter how you have the market, the people, if they cannot afford the product, then the main essence of the convergence is defeated.
Experts say the future of Africa is bright, with potential windows to expand opportunities within the corridors of more than 1 billion population and a viable capital index of more than $3 trillion, substantially to improve on growth and development profile of the continent. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The African Continental Free Trade Area is an economic vehicle for realizing full potential and to achieve a common ground for prosperity of the continent. Now, the commitment of Nigeria in fulfilling its bargains is a readiness towards deriving optimal benefits as the largest economy in Africa.
Findings reveal that the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, is flagship project of the African Union's Agenda 2063, a blueprint for attaining inclusive and sustainable development across the continent over the next 50 years. The main objectives of the AfCFTA are to create a single market for goods and services, facilitate the movement of persons, promote industrial development, and resolve the issue of multiple membership in accordance with Agenda 2063, aimed at bringing down barriers in trading, specifically tariffs, import quotas, and encourage the free trade of goods and services among its member countries.
Most of the things we have in Africa will sell internationally. It is just to package them and let the world know we have this. And, you know, they come in and then spend the hard currency.
Let there be liberalization of all these things so that people can trade freely.
Though the African Continental Free Trade Area has the potential to increase employment opportunities and incomes, helping to expand opportunities for all Africans, more needs to be done for Nigeria to enjoy the advantages.
You know, we are very good at brandishing very good policies and programs, but implementation are always intractable, impossible.
This is time that Nigeria will gather and change a new face so that we can stand economic-wise.
It is expected to lift around 68 million people out of poverty and make African countries more competitive.
In the meantime, Nigeria's trade policy on interregional business relations has contributed immensely to the development of economies of partnering countries. The involvement of the largest economy in Africa in the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, economic experts say, will further expand Nigeria's markets and promote trade facilitation within the continent. And Abolade Salami has that.
Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, is an instrument designed to promote an all-inclusive and sustainable development across the continent, with a view to boost intra-African trade. A continent with an economic value of $3 trillion and a market of 1.2 billion people. No doubt, Africa's largest economy and the most populated in the continent, having the right policies in place, stand a more better chance than any other multinationals in trade facilitation.
Revenue that will be coming from local economy, talk about Federal Inland Revenue Service and all other state revenue is expected to increase significantly. And more importantly, we're going to be seeing an expanded manufacturing sector.
Taking advantage of the large market size and huge scale of operations in the macroeconomic segment of the market to drive an increased production capacity in the agro-allied and other mineral resources sector, economic analysts submit will serve as a catalyst for revenue growth.
In the ICT, e-commerce, we also have very good advantage. So in the service sector generally, including trading, when it comes to retail trade, I don't think there's any country in Africa that can stand the entrepreneurial capacity of Nigerians when it comes to trading.
Accelerating Africa's industrial development objectives and Africa's industrial development action plans is very important for the purpose of reconfiguring our supply chains.
While Nigeria is increasing its capacity in the export of goods and services, both foreign and domestic, the intra-African trade agreement, experts say, should be seen as a mechanism that presents several opportunities to stimulate economic growth. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Let's talk transport. It was a roller coaster experience for the blue economy in Nigeria in the year 2020 with the arrival of the unexpected COVID-19. Correspondent Oyinaya Kalu Oka reports that the year 2020 in the maritime sector was characterized by the good, the bad, and the ugly.
In the year 2020, the Nigerian maritime sector was set for a reform, but the unexpected COVID-19 took the blue economy unaware. With COVID-19 came the lockdown, which crippled activities in the sector across the globe.
So we kind of disorganized every working arrangement, every plan most agencies had in place.
In Nigeria, to cater for the essential needs, the port was operating with strict adherence to protocol in compliance with the President's directive. With the easing of the lockdown, the maritime sector picked up gradually as federal government continues to develop it. To ensure fair trade in the maritime, efforts were doubled in sanitizing the industry. Transforming the industry and digitizing it was given top priority.
Terminals in Nigeria that have almost 80%, digital. Thank you. Digital. So that is our focus now. We want to give in stages, and we hope by March we'll have reached about 80% compliance.
The safety and security of the maritime domain, key players say, was improved upon with the launch of the Deep Blue project.
Nigeria is one of the worst insecure waterways, maritime ways in the entire world. Before this regime came into power, we were number one. And up till 2017, we were still number one. Between 2018 to 2019, it is going down. It has significantly gone down in the sense that the IMO, International Maritime Organization, was congratulating them for having gone down by 30%.
Reviving the Onitsha port, abandoned for about 42 years, was said to be a major achievement.
What the first thing we need to do is for us to immediately start work and then put this port into effective use. And then we did a trial run. We moved consignment from One to Onitsha. And the containers were returned back. And it worked. We are trying, I think on the 11th also, we're going to move quite a good number of containers from Lagos to Onitsha. We have projected that.
Still on decongesting the ports, construction work for the railway line linking the ports is at advanced stage.
There are 38 trucks will be removed for every trip by the train, which means you have less trucks.
Issues of transparency, providing alternative means of transportation, cleaning up waterways and completion of the Lekki Deep Sea Port took center stage. The icing of the cake in the maritime industry, many say, was revenue generation. In the midst of COVID-19, the Nigerian Port Authority announced an improved revenue of about 1.02 trillion in the space of 3 years.
There was a perception that MPA is a cash cow for political machinery, and being here now, we have completely, I would say, eroded that.
Like every other sector, the maritime was hit by the pandemic as major operations were suspended, thereby experiencing setbacks and revenue reduction. Similarly, the Nigerian Port Authority lost about 1 billion naira to NSAS protests. The challenge of port congestion persists despite federal government's efforts. With COVID-19 still persisting, stakeholders maintain that adaptability and innovations are key factors in moving the maritime sector forward in Nigeria in the year 2021. Oyinaya Kaloka, NTA News.
Still on transportation, the commercial train service from Itakpe to Warri is already impacting on lives and stimulating economic growth. Passengers' testimony on the efficiency of the train services is shared in this report by Austin Edemodu, who visited the train station in Delta State.
At exactly 8 o'clock in the morning, the train from Warri departs and arrives the Agbo station by 8:45 in the morning. Since it became operational, the Warri-Itakwe rail line has been a delight to many Nigerians who have found new love in the train transportation service.
Guess what? I'm not actually on a flight. Rather, I'm on a train right from Warri going to Kogi State. And I'm here to share the experience of those who have been traveling with this train. And it has been a pleasant experience for the first timers.
My experience so far has been very, very awesome because this is my first time of boarding a train.
Myself and my families, we are enjoying the smooth ride on the train. We encourage all Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of going through the train.
I travel Abuja almost every week. When I call you say this train does start, I say I can't reach a pass aeroplane. No, I don't take flight, and I never enjoy this kind of enjoyment. It's spacious.
Apart from the comfort and security, the transportation fare is appealing. From Warri to Agbo is 700 naira per passenger, while Warri to Itakpe is 2,500 naira.
I show that we are actually improving and we definitely get to where we are going in this country. It is far better than using buses.
It's a very great opportunity to us to travel free. You don't have any stress.
However, there is low patronage from the Agbo station, a situation that has been blamed on the distance from the main town to the train station. The coordinator of Warri-Itakpe train services, Sani Abduganiyu, says strategies are in place to remedy the situation.
We are looking at a particular point very close to their town where we can have a hot station so that we can pick people from there. We have also discussed with the Obi of the Royal Majesty, Obi of Owoibo. He's also making efforts. He's trying to have a kind of an international market here and a national park that will draw attention of the people here. Then there will be a road union that will be transporting people maybe at 100 naira, 200 naira, and that will be convenient for people to come here.
The Warri-Itakpe train service operates morning and evening commercial activities. I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
The Itakpe-Warri rail line spans 3 states, Delta, Edo and Kogi states. Now, Austin Edemodu just gave us an update on the Delta situation, one end of the line. What is the experience from the other end in Kogi state, that is the Itakpe end? Solomon Ayedehin is here to fill us in.
The 326-kilometer Itakpe-Ajaokuta-Warri Railway project was inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari in September last year to link the southern oil hub of Warri near the Atlantic coast with the iron ore producing region in Kogi State, north-central Nigeria. The single-track project, which is targeted at integrating people from different cultural backgrounds together and play a critical role in transporting iron ore from the central Itakpe to Warri Port, promote the development in agricultural and mining sectors along the route, has subsequently expanded trade and commerce with the operation of passenger train system as an alternative mode of transportation. Officials of the train station say the project has engaged youths of the community who previously were idle and ready tools for negative purposes. The train, which runs through and fro Monday through Friday, carrying passengers from Ujevu in Warri to Itakpe in Kogi at a cost of 2,200 naira per trip, has its stopping stations in Abraka, Agbo, Agenebode, Uromi, Ajaokuta, and terminates at Itakpe with an average of over 2,000 passengers weekly.
Every today,
everything working perfectly. You can even charge your phone inside. Everything is available. The facility, you can ease yourself. You want to toilet, you can toilet. If you want to urinate, you can. The whole system is very okay.
I didn't know about it, and yesterday someone came around and talked about it. I said, okay, let me give it a try, and it was worth it.
Buhari did it. If I hope it will go around the whole country, the poor people, they will be very, very happy. In fact, may God bless him.
I believe that by the special grace of God, when the man leaves the position, then we'll now realize what the man did for us. He tried, he's a great man.
Passengers called for aggressive publicity of the train service along this corridor for the full realization of the federal government's target of generating close to 1 million passengers volume and approximately 3.5 million tons of freight per annum. They also wish to see the fruition of the proposed Itape-Lokoja-Abuja rail line to enable passengers travel directly from Warri to Kaduna by train. The construction, completion, and inauguration of the much expected rail line linking Itape in Kogi State with the Federal Capital Territory by the present administration will by no means ease movement of goods and services along this corridor and reduce pressure on the popular Abuja-Lokoja-Ukene Highway in Itape, Kogi State. Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari joins the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and Nigerian workers to celebrate pioneer president of the Congress, Hassan Adebayo Sumunu, on his 80th birthday. In a statement, President Buhari affirms that the former Secretary General of the Organization of African Trade Union Unity left a strong legacy in the public service and fought diligently for an improved welfare of the Nigerian worker. Institutionalizing a national minimum wage and minimum pension scheme and consistently negotiating with public and private sector employers on better packages for workers. As the identical twins turn 80, the president extols their courage, discipline and determination to serve the nation, believing that their experiences will continue to inspire many into public service and pressure groups while collaborating with government in fostering development. President Buhari prays for good health and longer life for Sumunu and his brother Husseini. Funding support upswing as regulatory agency rise to checkmate the recklessness of dispatch riders on our roads. That will be after the break. Stay with us.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
For over 70 years, we've protected our homes against germs together. And now is no different. So let's disinfect and protect our floors and surfaces every day. Dettol. Protect what's worth fighting for.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes.
To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
Great to have you back. We are told that with an economy like Nigeria's, when small businesses grow, the economy grows and survives. That is why it's good to know that a ray of hope has come among operating businesses in Kano, as the federal government gives support to 59,000 people with grants under the Survival Fund scheme. Our Salis reports that this is part of the economic sustainability plan designed to support Nigerian citizens.
The outbreak of COVID-19 in Nigeria has drastically affected all sectors of the economy, leaving many people whose livelihood depend on daily income in despair and want. It was against this backdrop, federal government came up with a number of interventions to minimize the impact of the pandemic. The Survival Fund scheme, therefore, is designed to support micro, small and medium enterprises to pay the salary of their staff for a period of 3 months due to the vulnerability caused by COVID-19.
Federal government has really helped, and about 59,000, if you add the numbers, are the people that will benefit in Kano. And apart from that, the amount to be spent in Kano alone is almost 3 billion.
Hajia Maria Sanusi Bayero, one of the beneficiaries, commended the federal government for the transparent manner it is executing the scheme. She said with support such as this, economic growth and jobs are sustained as 9 of our workers are under the payroll.
It really helped and assisted us so much, because if not because of it, we have to start looking for a way to alleviate their sufferings and to help them.
Other beneficiaries described the initiative as timely.
We find it difficult during that period, but since government have intervened and we are among the beneficiaries, we are very, very happy.
I'm very happy. I'm thanks to Mr. President and the federal government.
The hope of Hajia Maria and her likes is for the federal government to extend the program, which they say its impact to economic situation of the country cannot be quantified. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
And from Kano, we'll take you to Lafia, where 2,600 women benefit from 20,000 naira cash support in Nasarawa State by Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Joshua Kigbo reports that selected women from 5 local government areas collected the amount at a ceremony in Lafia. Minister of State, Science and Technology, Mohammed Hassan Abdullahi, says the Buhari administration is committed to uplifting the lives of rural women beneficiaries, also promised to use the money judiciously. Oh, we apologize for the loss of audio in that report. Now, moving on, following the approval of the appointment of Justice Salis Garba as the acting Chief Judge of the FCT High Court by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Chief Justice of Nigeria has sworn in the head of the FCT judiciary with a call for greater dedication to upholding the rule of law in Nigeria. Femi Okewo has the details.
Justice Salisu Garba has been in the judiciary of the Federal Capital Territory in the last 32 years, rising through the ranks and now to become the head of the court, acting for now. It is this wealth of experience and peculiar knowledge of the FCT judiciary that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, while swearing him in, said he should bring to bear in improving justice dispensation in the FCT judiciary.
You are carrying a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders. If, for instance, you were working 14 hours per day before, you now have to double to meet up with the demands of your new office, with a very clear warning: don't overwork yourself.
Speaking to NTA News after taking his oath, Justice Salisu Garba promised to make the FCT judiciary a model for other courts.
The task is enormous. I will try my best to see that I've carried everybody along and succeed.
In the hierarchy of courts, the FCT judiciary is just like any other state judiciary. But because it is the Federal Capital Territory, there is so much interest in the matters that come to this court. There are so many political and civil cases that impact generally on the polity of Nigeria, which is why there's so much interest on the headship of the court. From the Supreme Court, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has ordered counsel to the All Progressives Congress and that of Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki to file their final written addresses to enable the court to deliver its judgment within the stipulated time. He stated this after the defense team closed their case. Correspondent Olabode Arewa reports.
The pre-election matter was filed by the All Progressives Congress and one of its members in Edo State, Williams Edobo. They are seeking the disqualification of Governor Godwin Obaseki from participating in the 2020 Edo governorship race, alleging that he submitted false certificates to INEC while filling his Form EC9. At the resumed trial Wednesday, Obaseki's counsel, Kem Mozia, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, called another witness, Professor Ehosa Osagi, who tendered his own bachelor degree certificate from the University of Ibadan, and told the court that from his own experience, he observed that since the UI certificates are larger in size than the A4 paper commonly used in making photocopies, making copies of such certificates might leave out some of the information on such certificates. He also testified that he attended the University of Ibadan for 3 years, just like the first defendants. With the PDP and Governor Obaseki closing their cases this Wednesday and INEC not calling any witness in support of his case, the judge ordered parties to exchange their written addresses so that they could adopt him on Thursday.
We came in prepared to do battle. We have done it. And we expect that we should win. That's the confidence we have.
So the idea was to give the court enough room and give us enough time, at least a little bit of time, to prepare our respective addresses.
Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
And a federal high court sitting in Ikeja has sentenced a former managing director of Fin Bank PLC, Oke Umosu, to 3 years imprisonment for stealing 18 billion naira from other bank. The presiding judge, Justice Latifat Okunu, also ordered the convict and other defendant, Dayo Ademoruti, to refund the stolen money, while the third and fourth defendant were also given punitive sentences. And reactions have continued to trill. We apologize for that. We'll still move on. Reactions have continued to trill the allegations by the spokesman to the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Paul Ibe, attributing the sales of shares in Nigeria's oil logistics giants Intels to unfavorable federal government policy on investments. The latest is coming from the company and former member of defunct committee for the withdrawal of license of operations of Intels. Abubakar Usman Akwanga has the report.
The
It's no longer news that the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar recently sold his shares in Intel's alleging poor economic policy in the country. Now a statement from the spokesperson of the company, Thomason Rufinoni, has said the shares were sold to Intel's parent company and has nothing to do with political interference. An elder statesman and former member Sidi Ali also said the claims do not hold water, as effort was on course during former President Olusegun Obasanjo to stop leakages allowed through the company.
So the matter has nothing to do with Buhari. It was the time when Buhari was not even when he did not even contest for the presidency. But when the present formation government came in, not even when Buhari was in government, he did not interfere with it. Apparently, after going through the records, they found out Intel was a company collecting revenue in dollars on behalf of NPA.
The elder statesman commended President Buhari's anti-corruption crusade and urged Nigerians to support the government. He noted that despite the economic crunch, the nation still remains a strong direct foreign investment destination in Africa. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
In another development, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, through the Directorate of Road Traffic Services, has arrested over 50 dispatched riders and impounded their motorcycles for violating traffic regulations in the territory. Director of DRTS, Wadata Bodinga, disclosed this while briefing the media in Abuja. Shaibu Onuze Yakubu tells us more.
The ban on the activities of motorcycle operators, popularly known as Okada riders, by the FCT administration still subsists. Dispatch motorcycle riders, due to the urgency and necessity of their assignment, are being allowed to operate within the nation's capital city. However, the level of recklessness and total disregard to the traffic rules and regulations by the dispatch riders resulting to accidents call for urgent attention. Hence, the need to clamp down on those riders that violates driving regulations.
They are the major culprit of this beating of traffic and doing one way in the city. And that is not acceptable because they are trading with their own safety and the safety of other road users. And this enforcement is a continuous one. All the area commands are detailed to ensure that traffic must be respected. Rules and regulations must be respected in the city.
Chairman of the FCT Ministerial Task Team on Traffic Management, Ikaru Atta, says dispatch riders allowed to operate in the city are already abusing the privilege.
Dispatch riders who are privileged motorcycles allowed to operate in the city are already abusing it extremely. If you see them most time when you are driving and they're in your front, before the light shows green, even some minutes to amber light, even in the very red light, they just go ahead and cross, and that has become a source of worry, and the minister have been on, and that's why I think Mr. Wadata Bondiga and his men actually swung into action to give the FCTA a good name, and they clamped down on them and ensure that they comply.
Within 2 days, over 50 dispatch motorcycles have been impounded for various traffic offenses. Shaibu Onuze Yakubu, NTA News.
What is the talking point between the U.S. and Nigeria at this point in time? Find out when we return from this next break we are about to take.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
Thanks so much for staying. The process of ratifying the electoral vote to give way for the inauguration of Joe Biden by the U.S. Congress has been put on hold following protests which disrupted the sitting. The protest followed President Trump's statement to continue to contest the result of the election. Angry protesters of President Donald Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol, marching through the building, shouting and waving Trump and American flags and forcing a halt to congregational deliberations over challenges to Joe Biden's Electoral College victory. The U.S. Constitution provides that the Senate and House must meet to officially count and ratify the Electoral College results from all 50 states and Washington. Back home, the Minister of Defense, Bashir Salihi Magashi, says that Nigeria's Defense Space Administration is to be upskilled with supply of equipment from the U.S. Space Force to enhance its capabilities to support the fight against insecurity in the country. The minister disclosed this while hosting a delegation led by the Secretary, U.S. Air Force, Barbara Barrett, at the Ministry of Defense headquarters, Abuja. The minister notes that effective space management by the Defense Space Administration is critical to the ongoing operations by the Nigerian Armed Forces and other security agencies in the effort to eliminate the remnants of Boko Haram and other criminal elements. He appeals to the U.S. Secretary to speed up the release of some Super Tucano aircraft procured by the federal government. Meanwhile, the Department of State Security Services has advised the public not to be gullible to job racketeering, as DSS is not conducting recruitment for job seekers. A statement by its public relations officer, Dr. Peter Afunaya, warned fraudsters to desist from the criminal act or face appropriate sanctions. Dr. Afunaya says DSS does not demand money as criteria for recruitment, but conducts such exercise based on applicants' merit. A peep at the world of sports and more when we return from our final break.
A new edition of TV Guide is out with special focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Logo gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Say them they rape about 30% of the and even happen. I hear what you say, problem where they bring come out. They solve and sharply. Remember, person wey feel rape, if it's a key person, no, if it be you, if it be your pikin, if it be person them where you love well. So make we learn to carry women then, like diamond where we be. No grief for rape, oh.
Good to have you back. 5 newly elected non-permanent members of the United Nations Security Council have pledged to uphold the tenets of the council. Representatives of the countries made this known in a flag-raising ceremony to mark the start of their 2-year terms at the UN headquarters. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports.
The United Nations Security Council has 15 members, 5 of them permanent, while the other 10 are non-permanent members and are usually elected for 2-year terms by the General Assembly on a regional basis. Under the UN Charter, all member states are obligated to comply with the Council's decisions.
National flag of
the 5 members represent Mexico, India, Ireland, Norway, and Kenya, which defeated Djibouti in the contest for the seats available for the African group.
We will listen. We will speak up boldly for Africa, for small island developing states, for the global south, and for all countries, great and small.
Protection of civilians and climate and security will be our guiding priorities.
We will not shy away from raising our voice against the common enemies of humanity like terrorism.
A new voting arrangement was adopted, taking into cognizance restrictions in place due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Across the world today, we know that there are millions of people living in fragile contexts that risk being pushed over the edge.
We will uphold multilateralism with the firm conviction that it is the cornerstone of the global order.
The Council's non-permanent members' terms will end on 31st December 2022. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA2.
President Muhammadu Buhari has joined sports lovers, family and friends to celebrate Christian Chukwu on his 70th birthday. In a statement, President Buhari described Christian Chukwu as a multi-talented player whose contributions led to the development of sports in Nigeria through the provision of technical leadership for national teams. The president commends efforts of the former captain of Rangers International Enugu in strengthening the local league, which has over the years been a major feeder of the national team and produced players that have featured in some of the best teams and championships in the world. He prays for improved health, strength, and longer life for the former Super Eagles captain. Nigeria's Golden Eaglets and Amber FC of Aba falter in international engagements. Details of this and more from our sports desk.
Welcome to Sports Update. I'm Badi Adeleye. Let's begin by letting you know that the Nigeria under-17 football team, the Golden Eaglets, are getting set to take on their Ivorian counterparts in their opening match at the Wafu B under-17 championship in Lomé, Togo. Coach Fatah Mo's boys, who concluded their magnetic resonance imaging test on Tuesday night, say they are gunning for the 3 points. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Enyimba International are currently taking on Al-Merreikh of Sudan in the second leg of their CAF Champions League first-round fixture. The People's Elephants lost the first leg 3-0 away and must overturn the deficit to progress to the second round. Still talking football, the German FA Cup, better known as the DFB Pokal, continues on NTA Lagos Network Center with second-round matches billed for the 12th and 13th of January to be beamed live. Confirming the development, Zonal Director, NTA Lagos Network Center, Lawal Ahmed, revealed that the station is positioned to play a major role in sports content delivery.
For the very first time, one out of the so many stations in NTA is chosen to play this critical role of entertaining football lovers.
And finally, the new permanent secretary of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, Nebulisa Anako, has promised to consolidate on the achievements of his predecessor, Gabriel Aduda.
That will continue where he left, along the same line, and build on it. And innovations going forward is welcome. I'm always open to ideas.
The new man in charge, who becomes the 13th permanent secretary of the ministry, declared his readiness to work tirelessly with the minister Sunday Diary in order to achieve the ministry's set goals. And that concludes Sports Update. I am Badi Adeleye.
Let's take another commercial break. Please stay.
Edition of TV Guide is out with special focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Logo gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Say them they rape about 35% of them girl picking, and even them women safe. Some of them they even die in the process. Emotional trauma, uncle, they make some of them be like say they not dead this what again, they don't go, but they still they live like ghosts. Some of them shame don't kuku make them go kill themselves. It no good though. This not be our culture. It not fit be the African way. Why we can't allow this kind of yet enjoy body with us so they loud where. If you know they fear law where man put, you know they fear Baba God there. You self, you where they cover mouth so you see many one they happen. You know what here when the Oyibo talk say problem where they bring come out. They solve and sharply. Remember, person where feel rape. If it's a key person, no, if it be you, if it be your pikin, if it be person them where you love well. So make we learn they carry women then. Like diamond where we be. No grief for rape, oh.
President Muhammadu Buhari condoles with the Catholic community and Christians over the passing on of a retired Archbishop Peter Yariok Jatto. President Buhari, in a statement by the Senior Special Assistant, Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, describes the deceased as a great religious leader who exemplified decency, integrity, and love for one another. The President sympathizes with the government and people of Kaduna State and urged them to live by the good work of the former Archbishop of Roman Catholic Archdiocese. And the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has expressed sadness over the passing of Archbishop Peter Yariok Jatto. In a statement, the SGF, Boss Mustafa, sympathizes with the family of the late Archbishop, describing him as an erudite scholar and faithful servant who dedicated over 50 years of his life in the service of God and humanity. The SGF also extolled virtues of the late Archbishop, which enabled him to lead the Northern Christian Association of Nigeria for over 30 years. He says the late Archbishop Peter Yariok Jatto will be remembered for the lives he touched, the morals and values he instilled, built on the platform of the love of Christ. He prays God to grant him eternal life and for the family the fortitude to bear the loss. Sure, let's all stand against rape and rapists. And with that, we conclude News Extra for tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Join us again next week. I am Fatima Mabuba.
nation.